In this video, I'm going to show you how you can add sound absorption on the walls without adding sound absorption. We're going to use the angle of the walls to do some cool effects. So let's jump into VREX now, and I will show you. So this is a school that I'm working on at the moment. And we're right now inside one of the classrooms. So it's a big lecture room like this. And then we have over here, I'm going to walk towards a group room. Here it is. This little area. Laser. There with my pointer. So this little room. Let's go inside. And we walk through the door. Now, what you want to do in rooms like these is that you don't want to have parallel, undamped surfaces. Because in this case, let's say that the ceiling and the floor, they are hard. They are reflective. So I'm going to toggle the laser reflection. You're going to see what happens now. Sound that will hit the ceiling. If the ceiling is hard, this is what's going to happen. And this one now is just 3 bounces, but it's going to go on to infinity. So you're going to have a lot of unpleasant flutter echoes, they are called, coming from the ceiling. And you will have the same phenomena between the walls, because the walls are also hard. And in the Swedish building code, when you're working with rooms for education, there is a requirement to... You cannot have this situation. So you have to do at least 2 of the walls in the room, like an L shape. You should add sound absorption on 2 of them. So let's make it in green with a large little... Let's see, draw on model. Let's see if this works. So let's say we add some sound absorption panel here. Actually, let's make it a bit bigger. On this wall. And then in a normal room you should also add on the side wall like this. Now it's like an L shape in the room, even though it's a bit angled. So let's say it was a shoebox. This is what you will do, because now when you turn on the laser again, instead of getting this situation, we leave this wall is hard and this one has a sound absorber on it. This is going to happen. The sound is going to be absorbed here. So it's not until you get to the side of the absorber, then this bouncing is gonna come back. So here you will have the flutter echo, and here you will not have the flutter echo. And the same goes here as well. It won't bounce from this one. You might get 1 bounce, but then when it hits here, it will be absorbed. Now here's the cool thing about angled walls. Let's get rid of this absorber. Now we have 2 hard walls and we have 1 absorber here. Because if you notice that this wedge-shaped room, you could think of it as the headlight on your car. When you put a... Let's see if I can make a little drawing here in the air. I don't have a whiteboard, but I can perhaps draw it like this. If you have a light bulb, like so, and it's sending light in all directions, like so. If you put this one inside a reflector, here's the reflector. Oh, sorry. Now the light that would have gone back, now it's going to be instead go here and... Oh, sorry. Now I really need... It's really tricky to draw in 3 dimensions, you know, but you'll get used to it. So here's a light bulb, and bam, and it's going to be reflected, and it's going to go out like this. Yeah, it's not half bad. And since this is 3D, you will have the reflector as here as well. Wow, this is really cool. Wow, my first 3D painting ever. This can be quite useful to illustrate things. Okay, let's get rid of this mess. See if I can just undo it all. Now, the same principle. Let's say I am the light bulb, the speaker, because my mouth is emitting sound. So now when I'm standing here, the sound that would hit the back... Oh, not draw. Laser instead. If the sound that goes backwards is going to be reflected, but it will hit the absorber here. So we're fine. We cannot have flutter echoes now because we have a wall absorber here. And now we have the angled walls here. So even though glass is also hard, by the way, even though we have two hard walls on each side, what's going to happen? We won't have the flutter echo. Let's do it extreme here. You can see it. This is not a flutter echo. This is a flutter echo. It goes back and forth. And it's going to sound like, if you clap your hands, it will sound like brrr. Here, not so much, because it goes all over the place. And what's actually going to happen in most cases is, let's have one reflection. So when you're sending a sound ray to your right, it'll probably hit the absorber as well. You see? That's pretty nice. And the same will happen here as well. The sound that goes... Oh, we'll have to do one more bounce. You see? The sound that hits this wall will also be reflected towards the wall absorber. And that's also an important thing. That you have the... This one should be placed on seated and standing ear height. So that you always have the sound absorber is in the... If I had this one in my ear, and when I sit down and when I'm standing up, you're fine. But it's no worries if this surface is hard up here above the... This is 2000 is the height of this one. Because sound that goes here is going to go up in the ceiling anyway. And the ceiling is typically a sound absorber. All of it. That's a pretty common solution. So you're fine. You always go up into the ceiling when you hit the upper part of the wall. But what goes on in the horizontal plane, that's what's critical. And we have just solved it in this direction, but we have also solved it in this direction as well. Let's do here. Yeah, you can see. And this will get rid of a significant amount of room reflections. And even though it's hard down here, that doesn't matter, because you don't have the ears in your kneecaps, luckily, because then we would have been forced to put sound absorbers all the way down to the floor. But our ears are almost always between 800 and 2000. Or actually, if you're sitting down, it's perhaps more like 110-ish. I'm just guessing here. And if you're standing up, I'm 179, so my ears are probably at like, I don't know, 160 something, I guess. Ish. Yeah, well, that's the principle. If you angle the room walls, you can use one wall as a sound absorber. What you should not do is that you should not put your sound absorber on this wall. Oh, drawn model. Here, that is not the optimal position to put it, because as I told you that when you reflect sound, it will always go. Oh, here. The sound will always go in this direction in the room, because the angle is like this. And that's why you should put your sound absorber here. That's the right way to put it. And you should not put it here. And then you will be fine. Good. I can really learn to live with this VR 3D whiteboard. It could be very useful. All right. Let's call it a day. Thank you for listening to this little demonstration, and I hope you enjoyed it. In this video, by the way, I'm wearing a red pocket square, which is a very intense color, and then you don't need to show as much of it. You could just have a little splash and it will still be of a great effect. So that's cool with vibrant, strong colors. See you later and have a nice weekend.